Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video, as promised a couple of days ago when we spoke about Ojo being officially announced, we said in that video that it wouldn't be the last announcement of the week. Well, a couple of days later, Rangers are at it, they're announcing more things. It's not Ryan Kent, so just don't, okay? Don't do it. But before we go any further into story number one, I just want to take a moment just to say thank you so much for 30,000 subscribers. That's right, we hit it yesterday. Now, I know not everyone watches the PES career modes, and that's completely fine if it's not your thing, but I gave a wee thank you in that video, and I just wanted to take a wee second just at the start of today's video just to thank you so much. 30,000 subscribers. We are well and truly on our way towards 55k, and I genuinely can't thank you guys enough. But without any further ado, let's dive into it then, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Story number one then, it's going to be Greg Edmundson has now officially been announced on a 4-year deal. Now, as I'm currently recording today's video, there's been no official announcement on how much moolah this would have cost the Glasgow Rangers. However, if you go back and you look at it, where a 500k bid rejected, and you heard all these rumours about other teams down in England like Peterborough and everything having a 600k bid accepted, so if I was to guess it, between about 500 and 600k for Mr. Edmundson. And as you may or may not know, this is a transfer that Rangers have been chasing for a long time now. I mean, well over a month, because around about the 14th of May we made this video. That's when George was being shown around the Hummel training centre back then, trying to sweeten the deal about coming up the road to the Glasgow Rangers, and just over a month later he has now signed on the dotted line. And between that, there was rejected bids, there was accepted bids from other clubs, but as George said in his own words, quote, "There were a few clubs interested, but as soon as I heard Rangers were interested in me, there was only one place I wanted to come." End quote. Love you, Georgie. Now, his entire interview I will link down in the description below, and I certainly suggest you go ahead and read that because it's a very, very good read. It came across very well in my personal opinion, but there was one paragraph that really put him like above some of the other interviews we've heard from other players that's been joining the club, not even just this summer, but in the last couple of years. I mean, he really showed he's fought long and hard about this move, and this is the passage that we're going to be reading out. And he said, "They have done everything there is to do in football, so I'll be asking them questions and trying to learn off them to become a better player. It is going to be massive for me getting to train alongside Jermaine Defoe. I will be learning off him in training, trying to learn what strikers do and don't like and become a better player." Now, is it just me, but I really, really rate the fact that he's thought so much about this move. He's already got it planned in his mind. He's working alongside one of the best strikers the Premier League has ever seen in Jermaine Defoe, and he wants to learn what he likes, what he doesn't like, so he can improve for the Glasgow Rangers. I don't know, maybe it's just obvious, maybe it isn't that impressive, but for me, I like the fact that he didn't just say the standard cookie cutter things. He went ahead and a wee bit more into detail, and he spoke about things that he could use to improve himself. Now, as we've already mentioned in today's video, we've already dedicated an entire video to George Edmundson a month ago. I mean, I think it was around about 13 minutes long, all about George, but don't worry, we're not going to go ahead and repeat the exact same thing we've already done. So if you have seen it, don't worry, I'm not going to make you sit through it. But again, also on the flip side of that, if you haven't seen it, you're not going to miss out. What we're going to do in today's video is sort of compromise on his stats and just give you what you need to know. And if you're interested in his entire footballing CV, once again, I will link that down in the description below. So let's start off with the easy stuff. George Edmundson is 21 years old. He is 6'3", and he plays obviously at the centre back position. Now, he spent the majority of his career at Oldham. That's where he broke through their training academy. He did spend a couple of loan spells down lower in the league, sort of to get his game time, especially at a younger age. But 2 seasons ago now, he broke through at the end of the season for Oldham, and the entirety of last season, he was their #1 centre half, playing week in and week out. Now, during his first full season in charge, he managed to really shine throughout the entire season. You look at it, Oldham finished 14th in the league, right? George Edmundson played that well in a team that finished 14th in the league. He was rewarded at the end of the season, making it into the League 2 team of the season. That's how consistently good he was. Even on a team that was struggling, he was the standout. And looking at his stats for last season, he played 54 games. I mean, that's good. That's a good pedigree to come up the road with, because we play a hell of a lot of games as well. It's also quite interesting, he played 54 games and he's came up the road for 55. There it is. There it is. Now, but all joking in that aside, he managed 2 goals throughout those 54 appearances with 5 assists and being involved in 15 clean sheets as well. But again, those are just stats, and stats don't always tell you the entire picture. What kind of player is George Edmundson? He's certainly built like a brick shithouse, let's be fair. You certainly look at it and you start to think maybe he's not got the pace, maybe he's not as mobile as some of the other centre halves, but I'm quite happy to be sitting here and saying, from what I've seen of George Edmundson, he's kind of a mixture of both. I mean, he's got the strength, he's got the ability to really dig in and get shoulder to shoulder someone and bully them, but also he's got enough pace to keep in from behind as well. And he played a lot of that at Oldham. A lot of that was sweeping in behind and stopping counter-attacks or fast wingers. He's certainly got a wee bit of everything. That's a pretty damn good base to be coming into the Glasgow Rangers with, because I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he's the finished article, he's a world beater, he's Maldini 2.0. Nah. But he's good enough at a couple of things, and again, with the training and working alongside Connor Goldson and Nikola Katic, he can add more stuff to his game and become a much more complete player as the years go on. And I think when the dust settles from this summer transfer window and we look back at the signings that we made, this may be the most important signing that we have made this entire summer. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, Ryan Kent, if he comes, this will be big, and I completely agree, but again, we are extremely stacked in those positions. When you look at George Edmundson, he's coming into a position that we badly need to strengthen, and not only strengthen, but now we've got actually a pretty damn good player in there to be pushing Nikola Katic and Connor Goldson all the way for the starting spot, because we could have just went out there and signed a centre half that's never going to push them. I mean, a 38-year-old who's never going to be playing is just not there, but we've got someone new who's young and is hungry and who wants to play games, and will keep the other two on their toes. And I genuinely believe that competition for places will play a massive factor on what we win next season. But again, that's just my thoughts and opinions on this transfer. That is George Edmundson broken down. Before we jump over to Twitter and hear what the people have to say, get your thoughts and opinions out there. How do you feel about this transfer? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And do you also think we still need to strengthen in that spot with another body on the books? And now that me and thee have had their say, let's jump over to Twitter and hear from the people. There's been 1,444 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. 8% votes for no, they're not happy with the signing, but 92% of the people votes that they are. Stevie Brown writes in, yes, happy with it, needed competition in that area, and if the gaffer rates him, that will do for me. King Jad writes in, ain't that the guy Portsmouth wanted? Not exactly high profile, but who knows, might be a good signing. All says you can't always judge a player where he's coming from. Look at Glenn Kamara, you think he came from Barca. And I can't remember how much he cost, but again, he wasn't from Barca, he wasn't from a big established club, he wasn't a high profile, he came for done D for a unknown transfer fee. Anyway, Curtis writes in, very young and has loads of potential, and expect us to sign a more experienced centre half further in the window. Overall happy with this signing. Greg Stewart Loyal writes in, yes, looks like a very solid player who will be a great backup for Connor Goldson and Nikola Katic. Andy writes in, if Stevie G thinks he's good enough, then that is good enough for me. And the last one we'll read out comes from Rampant Ryan Jack, and he writes in, from what I've seen of him, he looks like a good ball playing centre back, something we don't have at the club. My only concern is he won't get matches due to the strong partnership of Nikola Katic and Connor frickin' Goldson. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard from the people, you've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, get your thoughts and opinions out there for story number 1. Story number 2 then, and this one's going to be extremely short. In fact, there's not much to even talk about. It's just a little bit of news regarding Rangers Football Club, so I was just giving you an update. It's about Zach Rudden, who, if you followed the loan player review series that we've done all year long, every month we looked at the players out on loan. Zach was one of these players who performed week in and week out for a Falkirk team that really struggled, but again, a lot like George Edmundson, he swept up all the awards at the end of the season, coming away with four overall awards. He swept them all up based on what he managed to do on the field for Falkirk. Because of that, and because Gerrard speaks so highly of Zach Rudden, he has been offered a new contract which has been signed, so massive congratulations to Zach Rudden. And during his interview, he said he's extremely motivated this season. He's added a lot to his game to come out and prove to Steven Gerrard that we didn't need to go and sign a new striker. He is the man to lead the Glasgow Rangers, which I absolutely love. And again, we've spoke about this in the past. When's the last time a young striker broke through at the Glasgow Rangers and led the line consistently? Zach certainly has a lot to his game. Now, is he ready? That's going to be a question up to Steven Gerrard to sort of suggest whether he gets another loan or stays around about the squad. It's just great to see Zach Rudden earn that new contract, and a massive good luck to him as well. Hopefully he kills it next season. And now we have reached the third and final part of today's video, and again, this one's going to be mega short. It's just going to be a little update regarding the fixtures ahead of next season. Now, I'm not going to read out the entirety of them because we'd be here all day, because I know you guys didn't want to be sitting here looking at this weird Mandarin bearded destiny for that long. Don't worry, I'm getting rid of it tomorrow, okay? We're going to keep this one short and just go through the first 4 fixtures because it sets up a very interesting start of the season on. Starting off with the very first game of the season, we are away from home versus Kelly. That's right. That's just what we needed to inject some urgency into the squad. Playing Kilmarnock again. It feels like we've played them 25 times this year. However, we follow that up with a home tie versus Hibs, which could again be a very, very testing game before travelling away from home versus St Mirren, before coming back for the last game of the month, 31st of August. Circle it on the calendars. The Old Firm is back already, and the first Old Firm of the season is going to be at Ibrox. Now again, I will link the entire list down in the description, so if you're interested in that, that is where the full list will be. I've been Sieging Over 992. That's been Rocky Boy Johnson. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.